So you have an impressive portfolio. So you investor in Lyft, Udemy, Carbon Health, FlutterFlow. What's your investment philosophy? So when you're kind of, you said you go for founders that you think can survive it when you're building early. Do you have some other things you look at specifically?
Yeah, I mean, I do a lot of investments. I would say I do more than most investors that are out there, and I think I tend to lean more towards developer tools, developer platforms, because those are things that I love and I understand. I like things that allow people to build new experiences and new capabilities. My investment philosophy comes down to vetting the founding team. In the case of Udemy, which was a huge success, and I was one of the first shareholders there outside of the founders. I was floor mates with one of the founders at Berkeley, and I borrowed money from my dad to make that investment. And then I thought I was the best investor ever. And then after that, I made a bunch of bad investments. And it took me about like 5 years to really realize what I wanted and what I was looking for. And my fundamental thesis comes down to really people first, and 3 components that are within people. The first one is I really look for people that I believe are trustworthy. I think that that is my number one thing, actually. Like I think that if a founder were to lie to me about something, that very quickly goes down a path where I don't want to work with them anymore. I just feel as though businesses are hard. Like there was one company today that I invested in that isn't working out, and we had a frank conversation about like the founders are exhausted, they can't find product market fit, and we were very friendly about it, and we're coming up with opportunities for them to land the team, right? And so that happens. And so, or if you have a great quarter and then you have a bad quarter, I just want to know. Like I've been through this stuff. It's difficult. And so trustworthiness is number one for me. Number two is definitely resilience, as I mentioned earlier in the conversation, is that there's going to be bad things that happen every day, and the magnitude of them will vary dramatically. And it'll get worse as the company gets bigger. Like every business gets exponentially more difficult to run, especially if it's a hypergrowth software company, as you scale up. And so I really look for people that I believe will just roll with the punches. Like you get hit, like you can continue, right? Like one of the founders I really admire in New York City that we funded is a woman named Jacqueline Chen, who runs Benepass, which is like a benefits product for SMBs and middle market companies. She's been through a number of things that have been difficult. Like it's a difficult market, and she is persevered, and I think she's an incredibly impressive founder. And so I look for that quality as a second one, and I think it's super important. And then the third one is some level of self-learning, or a word to describe this is autodidact, which is a word that I learned from my mom, and she'll be happy to say that I said that. But she always said that was a very important human quality. I think it's extremely important for founders. And what it basically means is that you can learn any topic. You can learn anything, right? You're going to have to be a CFO when you don't have one. You're going to have to be a HR manager when you don't have one. And being able to solve and think through those problems is really key. The number of founders that fit all three, a single person that fit all three, is very rare. But typically, if you have 2 founders or 3 founders, they sort of have all 3 of those. The trustworthiness they need to have consistently across all founding team members, but the others can sort of be a partnership if they need to be. And that has been a very successful philosophy. If the founding team passes those key things for me at the pre-seed and seed, I think the next phase is going to be some level of understanding of what the product does. Do I believe it's a big market, or do I believe it's a beachhead market that can be expanded? And so those are the things that I really look for.